I'm Q, and I play Vox Windbler. Vox is a half-elf fighter and assassin rogue. She was born and lived most of her life in Asparia at the end of the Salt Valley. Her parents are Ava Windbler, who knew Perrin when they both lived in the Feywilds, and Tehran Windbler. Ava's half-brother Balak murdered Tehran, imprisoned Ava, and controlled Vox's uncle Theon. This results in Vox being thrust into chaos instead of the peace she had known. She eventually finds love with Reviana Brighthand, the captain of the Royal Guard, before Balak frames Vox for murdering the king of the Salt Valley, and manipulates circumstances to cause her to travel to the Dreadspire, leaving behind everything she knew. Now she travels the world with her found family, her talking sword Brightburn, to create a better future for those she loves.
Howdy, my name is Sean, and I play Atticus Phoenix. Atticus is a human fighter with a champion/homebrewed mage slayer archetype. Atticus hails from one of the oldest royal houses in Etherea, the House of the Phoenix, which is nestled deep within the South Green, but has been wandering the continent for some time as a knight, pledging his sword to upkeep the memory of his family and to protect the people of the land. He is haunted by an ancient entity known as the Darkness, which has cursed him and his entire family with a plague that has left him and a few others as the last of their name. Atticus is the father of Atlas, his long-lost son, best friend to Cletus the Grand of the Hill Giants, former partner of Burgent Fellhammer, and designated leader of the party.
My name is Tyler James, and I play Perrin Meliamne. Perrin is a wood elf, bard, and ranger. Perrin was born on the Golden Shores to fulfill a lost prophecy before he was transported to the Feywild to escape the land's destruction. There he was raised by a figure half forgotten to all Namira, and eventually traveled the land under the control of Balak Morgrasp, while learning to be a con man and wanderer. He seeks to find peace between the necessity of violence in a cruel world and his deep love of life in all its complexity. Perrin is the adoptive father of Fauna, a pledged squire of Atticus Phoenix, keeper of the Door Realm Key, companion of Amos the Mockingbird, and wielder of the Ornament of Rights.
My name is Aaliyah, and I play Fauna. She is a witch raised in the Evewood Coven that was recently wiped out by the Night Guard. Although Perrin is the closest thing she currently has to a father, her real parentage is still a mystery, as are the horns, which seem to be some kind of curse. She has a black cat familiar who is her best friend and constant companion, and has now found a new family in the ragtag party she has joined up with on this adventure.
My name is June, and I play Nyx Loon, a shadow elf, divine sorcerer, and rogue assassin with our shared pronouns of she/they. The last remaining heir to the Nightlands and prime of the Court of Night, Nyx was secreted into an enchanted locket to survive an ancient war, where they were soon lost to time and the whims of their Loonstone's wielder. From close friend and confidant of the Queen, to gauche pawn and ruthless assassin for the Speakers, Nyx was passed from many hands throughout history, and changed much of it. Now freed from the Loonstone's control, Nyx has only three goals: repay their life debt to Atticus Phoenix, protect their godson, Perrin Meliamne, and reclaim what was stolen from them in memory, identity, and homeland.
Cheddar broccoli's great.
Cheddar broccoli is great. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Feast of Dice channel. I am your DM, Elijah Goodall. Pronouns they, them, and we are picking up where we left off yesterday with Castle Run, mid-battle outside Phoenix Manor. And a battle that was going very, very well for all of you, considering the odds. All your ally rolls were turning out excellent, and you whittled down what was something, I think, in the ballpark of like 160 combatants to a pretty manageable number in just 3 rounds. No small part in thanks to some big physical actions by Atticus, Vox, and Perrin early on, but then also a pretty incredible lightning spell from Fauna, and then also a whirlpool that was, what, 2 rounds in the making from Nyx.
Even just the lightning spell technically was 9 months, and like I carried those around for 6 months before we ever examined them.
Also, I
didn't even
literally
think
did
about
nothing
that.
except happen to get those from you.
Yeah.
So
But you still shot them.
However, at the end of that 3rd round of combat, Atticus, you looked over to see Atlas's automaton. Oh,
Kyle, get out of here. It's not your week.
Get out!
fixed it. Okay. Atticus, you looked over to see Atlas's automaton, Ash, running across the field, telling you that you needed to arrive at the library. Upon the party's arrival around the corner of the manor looking at the library, Atticus, you saw one of your worst nightmares realized as that enormous black iron automaton that had been seen earlier before the fight started, skulking around the edges, was smashing into the library. However, pulling out from, like, as they smashed through the wall and pulled their fist out, it was not Atlas in their clutches, but Bert, who had been sent to protect Atlas. And we are picking up right there. I am, however, going to have all of you re-roll initiative real quick. So go ahead and do that for me.
Spicy.
wait, sorry, what's happening?
Dirty 20.
Everyone, do your initiative again. So, Nyx, you're at 20.
19.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
Okay.
22.
Oof.
Such a dex-heavy group.
Also, I think everyone is doing much better. Like, this is working out to everyone's favor so far.
Yeah, I got that magic item by from Cletus that puts my initiative at a +8 now.
Vox, did you say you were also a dirty 20? Oh my
I got a
God.
17 and I got a +3. Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a 19 on the die, so that was pretty high for me.
Wild. So Perrin with the lowest initiative at 19.
Rough life.
I'm gonna roll real quick for Bert. Bert's initiative is a 5. Not great for Bert.
I mean, he is in the clutches of the automaton right now.
That's
out.
the bad thing. So this is probably the most important initiative roll. I am going to roll for the automaton, and we will see where it falls. Okay. With a natural 19 on the die, but a -1 to its dex, it puts it last in initiative except for Bert. Truly, if you all had not rolled that well, it would have been bad. This thing's 30 feet tall, and it's holding a small frog knight in its massive fist. However, Fauna, it's your turn first.
Oh, no. Atlas okay? Like, do we have eyes on Atlas?
You can give a perception check to kind of like see what's going on right now. And you're outside the library
Bert
still.
Is not doing well, but okay. Well, actually, I need to reroll that. 22.
22 is pretty good. The angle that you're at, I think right now, coming around the corner of the manor, you are only about. I'm going to say that you're 30 feet from this. Like, you're one full move action away from this robot. The angle that you're at, you see where it smashed through the library. On a 22, you can't see Atlas, but a 22 is good enough that I'm going to give you a little bit of almost what you'd get on an investigation check. You can't see Atlas, and because you can't see Atlas, but you do see Bert in this thing's hand, and it looks like this is the first time it's smashed through into the light, like it hasn't been making multiple grabs into here. I mean, your best guess is that it probably has Bert because Atlas is okay. Because it missed, because Bert pushed him. Like, you don't know why, but...
Okay, so...
but I can't verify because you just, like, you don't quite have the angle to see it. Like, this thing's 30 feet tall, and it punched sort of, like, through the upper wall part of the library, which is probably, like, 3 stories high. So it's almost like it's like looking down now into this hole that it's punched through the library, and you just don't have the vantage point to see into the library.
Okay. So I can't see into the library at all, just that it's punched through the wall and then pulled Bert back out.
And you're all still kind of like standing out here on the lawn. This thing's towering over you, Bert in one hand, like just sort of, now you're just sort of registering in its attention.
Okay. Just make sure. Okay, I'm going to... use Firebolt, but I'm going to aim specifically at the automaton's arm that's holding Bert to try to get it to drop Bert.
Okay. I like that. Here's how I'm going to flavor. If you're aiming for a specific spot to achieve a certain thing, there's both to aim at this certain spot. You have 2 options. You can either have, actually, I don't want to give you 2 options. Here's what's going to happen. You're aiming at the arm. In order to get it to drop Bert, I'm going to set a damage threshold that you would have to hit to get it to drop Bert. I think your Firebolt does 2d10 plus 5. I'm going to need you to get at least 20 damage with that Firebolt to its arm to get it to drop Bert. You'll still do the damage regardless, but to get it to, like, drop Bert is going to be pretty tough.
Okay. Fair enough.
But yeah, make me an attack roll.
Uh, 24.
24 definitely hits.
I have written on my sheet Oathbound +4 to roll. What does that mean?
+4, so you can actually see Bert now too, so technically your Legendary Allies ability would give you a +5 right now, because you can see everyone and Bert, who is the Court of the Unbroken Green.
We can do it, exactly.
You can do it once per day
for the whole group.
But you can't add it to damage. You can only add it. You can add it to attack rolls, saving throws, and ability checks.
Okay, then I only got 16 damage.
Okay, yeah, on a 16, I mean you do the damage. Give me it doesn't drop Bert. You can give me one more perception check with this too as you launch that firebolt.
19.
Okay.
Wait, I guess I get to. Never mind, it doesn't matter. Sorry, continue.
It's okay. On a 19, I'm going to give you some technical information that you see. You firebolt out, hit its arm. You see it hit the armor, and the armor just almost doesn't soak it all up, but it just sort of splashes on it. And you see the fire ripple across the enormous arm and then just dissipate. On that 19, I'm going to let you, there's two things happening here, and I'm going to let you in on one of them. This thing, giant black iron automaton, you can see, especially around its chest here where the joints are, there's like a glowing inferno inside of it, as if it's like some kind of arcane furnace is powering this thing. It is resistant to fire damage, which means that it only takes half damage from fire. And that is what you get on a 19. So fire is not going to be terribly efficient against this thing.
I would definitely communicate that to the group if they hadn't seen that.
Cool. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, and then I'm going to... Are we like in a... We're outside still?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you basically ran around the house in the lawn. There's still... I mean, there's battles going on. Like, your allies are still fighting over here, because it's not like it was just in that one spot in front of the manor. But that was where it was concentrated, and that spot has mostly been decimated thanks to the whirlpool. And then Armitage and a lot of your allies stayed there to continue the fight and try and break up the casting that was happening. And there are still little pockets of battles over here in the lawn, but it's a lot more... The only thing you really have to worry about in this space is the automaton.
Okay, I'm going to use my movement to just start to circle around toward, like, if we're like looking at it this way, like circle around kind of to behind, not all the way behind it because I don't think it all the way, but starting to move that direction.
Okay, great. Fauna, that's you. Vox, it's your turn.
Okay, as my... as my bonus action, I'm going to use my frost rune. That increases my sturdiness for 10 minutes. I gain a +2 on all ability checks and saving throw that use strength.
Cool.
Fox wants to get Bert out of this thing's grasp.
Yeah.
I want to try to, like, this thing's an automaton, right? So I want to try to possibly disconnect the hand that's holding Bert and get him out of that grasp.
Okay. Are you trying to go in for joints? Are you trying to find like small...
Yeah, I'm trying to, like, with dagger, if I can see it, kind of wedge it in there and try to just get Bert away from the grasp of this thing.
Okay. Here's what I will say. Same thing as Fauna. I'm gonna set a damage difficulty that you would have to do to achieve that. I'm gonna say, like Fauna, you're gonna need to do at least 20 points of damage to this thing. Vox, why don't you give me a perception check too? Because you're trying to analyze this thing quickly. Or you can make an investigation too, if you want, because you're specifically trying to analyze this thing for...
For sure, an investigation.
Yeah, give me an investigation.
That is a 22.
It's better than a 19. Fauna already shouted out the thing about the fire. You saw it dissipate. That's locked in. You're looking at this thing. It is immaculately made. You don't see a lot of weak points in it. Its joints incredibly well fit. This is not something that was like, this smith made this part in this. This looks like it was somebody's like project from start to finish. It was the work of one master smith, and they did an incredible job on this thing. That being said, on a 22, the other technical thing that I'm going to give you about this is that this automaton has a hardness factor to it. And the way that hardness works, its hardness is 10. So any damage that is only 10 or below on a hit, it ignores outright. If you can get over the damage threshold of 10, then all the damage counts. So it's not like you do 12 damage so it only does 2. You do the full 12. You just have to beat that hardness threshold of 10. So again, I'm going to say the same thing. You need to get at least 20 damage on this thing. You're going for the joint. I don't think that you can like completely, the joints are just too tight to, but what I will do is if you can get over, you're going for this arm, I'm going to flavor it a little bit like this. I think it's going to put you in a vulnerable position in its body because you're going to have to climb. It's 30 feet, so you're like moving up the body, getting its... If you can do at least 20 damage to this thing's arm with your knives, I will allow it to drop Bert, but it will get advantage on you with any attacks that it does until the start of your next turn.
I'm okay with that. It's a 20 to hit. I have advantage on the attack because of Brightburn, so I'm hitting it with a sneak attack as well.
Okay. If you for some reason don't hit the 20 damage, you'll still be in trouble, but it won't drop Bert.
All right. Damage without sneak attack is already 12.
Okay.
12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 27, 28.
There we go. Okay, cool. 28 damage. Vox, what does it look like? Brightburn is barking at this thing's heels, and it like goes to look down at Brightburn, and its arm swoops just low enough for you to just, I guess, like a Titan Slayer, just start climbing up this thing's arm to get to the shoulder joint.
Fox would just climb. She's swinging around. Her acrobatics are plus 11, so it kind of looks super cool also. And I think she's just going to swing around onto its back and get into like the shoulder area, and she just dives her blade in and cracks it out.
You hear Bert shout from the fist, "God damn!" Because it looks pretty cool. You get in there. You don't hear it's not like any gear shift but you had a 22 on your perception check. You said you activated a frost rune, which I know doesn't necessarily have anything to do with ice and your damage, but I am going to flavor it like this. This frost rune is going on you. So there's this, as you attack, there's like this little bit of the automaton's pretty hot. There is some arcane forge burning away in its core to keep this thing going. You see your breath for a moment, Vox, and as your breath hits the arm, you see a frost pattern appear, just little spreads on a spot on its shoulder joint, and you see there's almost these little bits of, not quite flame, but just it's so hot that there's just kind of a oh god, what's the word? I can't remember. There's almost like a corona around the joints, like burning from the interior. You see that shrink back a little bit from the frost. You hear a little like whine and a groan, and something goes stiff in its arm. The fingers lock, and Bert drops to the ground. This thing has dropped Bert. That was just one of. Are you using your bonus action to do another?
No,
or are you doing something else?
I used a bonus action to invoke my frost rune.
Okay, cool. All right, Vox, you're on this thing's arm, exposed, but Bert, for the moment, is safe. Nyx, it's your turn, and then Atticus, you're on deck.
Nyx is going to like run around the corner with everybody. They're kind of going to stay back kind of between the corner so I can see both fields because they're still maintaining concentration on that whirlpool. So they are somewhat distracted, but they're going to reach in their tunic and pull out that little bone star necklace that they won at the hoedown. and crush it in their hand, regain a 4th level spell slot, and cast Shatter at 4th level.
Okay.
And I want to do it high, so it's like, it's 30 feet tall, and I think the range is like 10 feet. So I want to like hit its head and try and avoid Vox or anybody down on the ground.
Awesome.
It has disadvantage on its con save.
Yeah. Yep, it sure does. Lowest one on the die is an 8 for a total of 15.
Is that against my DC?
Yes.
Does Defender win? Because my DC is 15.
If they hit the DC, then they save.
Fuck.
They have to be under it.
That's half damage still.
Okay.
Let's see if I go over the threshold. It's 24 damage. So it's not over.
No, it is.
You said over 20 or?
Over 10. The 20 was
the
amount of damage you had to do, but its damage threshold is just 10.
Okay.
So 24 is
so
definitely
half damage. Let's see. Do I want to do anything for bonus action? I already used my simple action. I think bonus action, I'll just try and like dip back behind the cover of that building again and just hide.
Okay, cool. Okay, Nyx, that's your turn. Atticus, it's you.
Atticus, where's your son at?
Shut the fuck up, parent. How far is Nyx from me?
At this point, if Nyx tucked back around the corner, then Nyx is about, I'm going to say, 15 feet from you. This thing is 30 feet.
Okay. I am going to slam my shield into the ground, keeping it where it's at, and I'm going to look at Nyx real quick and say, hey, here's some cover for you. And I'm going to start booking it towards the automaton, and I'm just like, Atticus is running and he's just gonna try and leap and gash through its leg.
We going two-handed on this one.
We going two-handed on this mofo.
Okay, all right. Give me attack rolls.
Daddy Addy engaged.
Elijah, do they all have advantage on attacks against this thing, since technically it's flanked since I'm on it?
Since you're on it. You... Since you're on it, technically flank is you have to be like directly behind it.
Okay.
Here's what I'm gonna say. Here's what I'm gonna say. Give me a performance check to like be getting its attention as Vox. If you can get a 20 or over, then it's flanked on performance.
Oh.
Question to the party: are you all cool if I channel Oath and use Legendary Smite on this thing?
Fuck yeah, if ever there was a time now.
Because I rolled a 19.
Do it.
Yeah.
Fuck them
up.
Okay. Hold on. Performance check is high enough. But this thing is like you are just sort of like swinging around on its shoulder. Atticus, you get advantage on your attacks.
Well, I rolled a 19, so that's a crit, but I'll see if I get a natural 20. So 19 crits, and then so Legendary Smite, I get to, it says add a 2d6 for each other Oathbound you can see to your next attack. So is that technically
10d6,
the whole party plus
10d6, and then you are going to times that by 2, so 20d6 plus your regular, which is already going to be 6d8. So essentially this one attack is doing 6d8 plus your strength, plus another 20d6.
Okay.
While Atticus
Cool.
is
swinging his
I
rolled
sword, you
the
see
20d6
Skywalker
into.
and Yoda behind him.
Oh my god! I rolled 20d6 in D&D Beyond, and it like crashed D&D Beyond, but it came back. So for the 20d6, it's 77, and then what is it? A 66.
668, I think, for your sword, because your sword's
68.
3d8 double-handed, right?
Yeah.
This
I'm just
is
doing it
beautiful.
all. I'm just doing it all in D&D Beyond at the same time.
Oh yeah, we'd be sitting here for half an hour if you did it with your dice.
77 plus my strength modifier, which is 4, plus 20.
Okay. That is 101 damage. Atticus, in one hit, you're in the triple digits. I mean, I did give you Legendary Smite. You are using an Oathbound ability right now. It's 101. I guess make your second attack roll, too.
Atticus just feels like he's on top of the world.
Yeah, Bert's
Right
there
now.
on the lawn. He's just like, fuck him up, Atticus!
So I get advantage on the second attack because Vox
got a 22
on him like
on
a
your
playground.
performance. Yeah.
Yep.
That second roll was 23.
23 hits. Roll that damage.
Cool. Just doing second roll is also 20 plus 4 equals 4. So I could have probably rolled 66 and rolled higher, but I did it through the app. So but yeah, 24 on that second hit. So
cool. So you total this turn did 125 damage to this thing in 2 hits.
Woo! That is a new session record right there.
I mean, 101 is a new Atticus record for
Jesus
sure.
Christ.
But yeah.
Atticus looks at this thing all feral and he goes, "You stay away from my boy," and like gets ready for whatever comes next.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't say anything next, but you carve a chunk out of the front of this thing, and little bits. Atticus, you can see a little bit of its furnace now just starts to drip molten ore onto immediately when it hits the ground. Like small fires begin to light underneath it. You see its legs don't move, but the hip joints swivel, and the top half just sort of swivels like down to face you, and it is now looming over top of you. Vox, from this vantage point now, the way that it's swiveled, you can see past into the library. Give me a perception check real quick.
Dirty 20.
You see that Atlas is safe. He's inside the library. It looks like maybe he came to check and make sure that Bert was okay, but now that he sees all of you out there, Bert not in its clutches, you see he is furiously just like he's there is this arcane circle that surrounds him. You see light beginning to like flare up at the edge of it, and he is like burning through books like no one you've ever seen, like flipping, finding a thing, throwing the book out of the place, like making a sign, and then putting his hand down on the ground as more light begins to come up from this giant rune circle inside the library. But Atlas is safe.
Yes, your kid's fine, but he's casting again, which I thought you grounded him for, but he's definitely okay.
No, he's got it. He told me all about it. It's gonna shut him down for good.
Well, so long as he told the frog.
So long as he told the frog. Perrin, that's your turn.
I think before Perrin does anything, Amos, being a mockingbird who copies, sees what Nyx does, and Amos swoops in and also casts Shatter, similarly placed on the radius to hit this thing.
Perfect. Right in its head,
front diagonally.
Disadvantage on the Constitution again. 2 8s on the die for a total of 15 again. What's your DC?
16. Sorry.
16?
Playing George ruined my ability to remember my spellcasting things.
That's a failure. Roll the damage.
Okay. 3d8. 15.
Okay. Oh my god. Okay.
What is the distance from where we came around the corner? Am I 30 feet away from it? Everybody else just sprinted to it, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah, you're all kind of in a cluster right here, 30 feet, but Atticus, I guess not all in a cluster now, because Nyx retreated a little bit, so it's just you and Fauna right here at the edge.
No, because I moved towards...
Oh yeah, Fauna started moving around it, yep.
Perrin's just going to kind of saunter forward 10 feet, just so he's at basically max range for Ornament of Rights, and he's going to swing it like a baseball bat. He's just hitting a home run, aiming right for the head.
Okay. Give me an attack roll.
$25.
25 hits.
$21.
21. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that definitely gets through. Are you using your second attack too?
I'm using my second attack.
Cool.
$21.
21 also hits.
I will use Blade Flourish, and I will actually use Defensive Flourish, and I will close the distance to stand right in front of him.
Cool.
14.
Okay. 14 gets through the damage threshold. Okay. Perrin. That is this thing's turn. And as you close the distance and get into attack, the automaton still, its focus is still mostly on Atticus at this point. Like, you've carved into its furnace a bit. It doesn't really register anything else as much of a threat as you. I do need Fauna, you're moving around this thing, so you're, the only one who does not need to make this dexterity save is Nyx, who is far enough away. But I need everyone else to make me a dexterity save. I'm going to make one for Bert. No way.
Reminder that you all have advantage on that thanks to Fauna.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I mean, Bert already succeeded. But...
Dirty 20.
What does it mean if I rolled 2 17s in a row? It is a 19.
Okay.
25.
Oh, I'm sorry. I only added my base modifier. My proficiency. 23.
Okay.
I don't know if that matters.
And then
I only got 14.
Okay. I will say now, before anything happens, this is your chance before results occur. If you want to use one of your inspiration points to re-roll, Fauna, you can. It's up to you, though.
I only have one left.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
add the 5 modifier, the Oathbound, to yours. But you only get to use that once, too, so up to you.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's true.
Yeah, I will say inspiration carries over forever until you use it. The legendary allies thing you get to use once per day.
Okay, yeah. Actually, I think I'll do... I don't want to use inspiration, but I think I'll use my Oathbound points.
Okay, and that gets you to 19, right?
Yeah.
All of you make the save, which means that thanks to your Circle of Power ability, Fauna, no one is taking any damage as this thing just actually like goes in and cracks itself open a little bit wider, and an enormous, like, first thing that happens is steam hits out, and then flame just erupts out of the bottom and the sides of this thing from the joints as it's basically venting its furnace in a 30-foot radius. But all of you made the save. You are able to avoid the flame. Like, Vox, you get up on top of the head as it everyone gets out of the way. No damage is happening here, and that is the automaton's turn, making it
Can
Bert's
I
turn.
cast my stone room since a creature that I can see ended its turn?
Yeah.
So it needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Is it a charm effect?
Yes.
This thing can't be charmed. It's just a
Oh.
construct with like simple directives.
Well, never mind.
But
But can it be seduced?
Perrin, go.
Yeah, if you can tap in binary
Perrin
on its
weeps.
shell with a smith's hammer, sure.
What if Perrin disguises
Roll for
himself as a
binary.
lady
Roll for
automaton?
binary. It can mean a lot of things. Okay. That is Bert's turn. Bert looks at you, Atticus, and is going to look back at this thing. And he, hold on, I'm gonna roll his attack rolls first. I'm also going to do his damage rolls.
Did Bert crit? Yeah.
He was inspired by Atticus.
Yeah.
He just
it's
fuck him up
silly one.
literally.
his crit's only 13 damage, but like Bert that like makes a wild slash at this thing's arm and misses on the first one, and then looks at it, narrows its eyes, and Atticus, I think maybe you're the only one close enough to Bert to hear him say, "A frog's gotta do what a frog's gotta do," and he goes running in and just jumps like his little sword, both hands, and just right into, he can make it to about the ankle of this thing jumping, but he is just in this thing's ankle joint down by the foot, holding on for dear
Oh
life.
yeah, Bert.
And 13 damage, just enough to get past the threshold. At the end of Bert's turn, Atticus, this thing is going to take one of its legendary actions to make a multi-attack against you.
Yay.
I know a 16 doesn't hit,
Shield on it.
but I imagine
16.
I imagine a 27 does.
Oh
definitely
man, that's such a bummer. It's too bad silvery barbs.
Okay, I'm gonna re-roll that one. Hold on, is it cocked? No, it's cocked. Hold on. Yeah, that's a 15.
Do we not respect the cock around here?
I can't see it either when it does that. There's like a little section of moss
We
over here.
respected it.
Only
Perrin
hot
just
sauce.
yeah, only the Sriracha cocks us. Perrin just clears his throat really loud, and it's like a striking sound.
It smashes. Atticus, you see the fist goes a full foot into the lawn, just next to you.
All right.
And Atticus, you have advantage on your next attack roll, ability check, or saving throw within the next minute.
Cool. Yeah, from Silvery.
I love silvery barbs.
Oh,
It's the most
so good.
busted spell ever. Or reaction.
It's so great in a group thing like this. Within 60 feet, that's so big.
Okay. At the end, this is the end of the first round. I'm still gonna have you. You're still those who have allies left. You're still gonna be making those ally rolls.
Rude.
Thanks to all the chaos that is happening and Nick's maintaining concentration on the whirlpool, you do get to make your ally rolls with advantage, which is great. So we're going to go in the new initiative order now and have everyone do their ally rolls. Fauna the Legrands are unfortunately gone. Vox, it is now your villagers. You have 11 villagers left, which gives you basically a +3 to this roll, plus whatever modifier you're using.
$21.
Okay.
Can I use points from the pool?
You've got 46 points left. Yeah, for sure. I will remind, because I told everyone at the end of last session, I'll tell it to you again just for the reminder. The way that the DC mechanics work, just so you know how many you would be losing for each bracket. Rolling between a 10 and a 14, you lose 2d6 from your ally pool. Between a 15 and a 19, I roll 2d6. Same thing for a 20 through a 20. So the only difference between getting a 15, like 15 to 24 is the same. You still lose, or no. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. A 20 to 24 is 1d10, and then a 25 to 29 is 1d6. The only one that gives you truly no ally losses if you get a 30 or more. But you do have 46 points left. So on a 21, I'd be rolling 1d10 to see how many from your allies you lose.
Can I bring it up to a 25? That takes us out of that pool, right?
For sure, yeah. Yep. 20. So that's just 4 points. So you're still at 42 on your.
I'm taking some points, guys.
Cool. And you're at 42.
How many?
I took 4 points, so we're at 42.
Okay. I'm going to roll 1d6. Okay. Vox, you have 5 villagers remaining now in your ally pool. Next in initiative order for their ally roll would be... Nope, all the burning sands are gone. So next, Atticus, that's you. You're rolling for Armitage. Armitage now just gets a +1 to this roll. And then you're also adding your strength modifier, but you are making this roll with advantage.
And what's the pool? What number do I need to get it to?
No losses, like no rolls at all against Armitage. You'd need a 30 or higher.
Okay.
25 through 29 is a D6. 20 through 24 is a D10. And then it gets.
Are y'all cool if I take 6 points? I rolled not that great on that. Okay, so it's 25 now.
Okay, 25 total. Okay. Okay. Perrin, that is your allies. You're rolling for Temple of the Quiet Fire. They're still doing pretty good. They're still getting a +6 to this roll.
27.
Okay. Just a D6 away from them. Okay. I think that is all the ally rolls. Atticus, will you make another Arcana check for me for Atlas? You get a +7 to it. We'll have him do it if he's not there. We'll have him do it later when he comes back. Which means we are back to the top of the initiative.
He had to run to the store to get some Coke Zero.
More Coke Zero.
BRB.
Yeah, I had to go right
Sponsor
and
us, please.
grab a
Yeah, give me an Arcana, another Arcana
+7.
check. Yeah, +7.
By the way, thanks for the hype train, chat. We've got a
Yeah,
couple subs
thanks,
and
chat.
some bits.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Liam, Sour Winch.
Choo-choo.
Where was the other sub? It went away. Whoever the other sub was, Unreal Gods.
23.
Okay. Over it. I think all of your Arcana checks have been over 20 for Atlas.
Thanks,
Atlas
guys.
is crushing it. Okay, that puts us back to the top of the initiative order. Fauna, it is you.
Okay, so I've moved around. Can I see into the library at all from where I am now? Like through the hole that it made?
Yeah, give me a perception check.
Ooh, nat 20. Or on my die, moon 20. Nat moon.
Fauna, what do you want to know about the library right now?
Mostly
or
I just
anyone
want
in
to,
the library.
I mostly just want to know, well, also you could tell me what's happening in there, but really I just wanted to know if I have line of sight because I want to misty step into the library. So
Fauna, you go, it's hard to get a look into that. You're kind of like, again, you were running around the automaton, so it's kind of like standing between you and the gap of the library. You can see sections of like light pouring out the giant hole in the side of the wall. And then you hear in your mind, hey, I'm in the library. It's getting crazy in here because the cat has scampered up and gotten into the library. And because the cat can see it in there, you can see it. Where do you want to Misty Step to?
I want to Misty Step to... Can I stay close to the hole and still have a sight line on the automaton, but also see Atlas?
Yeah, you can be between Atlas and the automaton, standing in the library, like where,
So yeah, I'm gonna Misty Step to like kind of just like halfway between them, so that like if Atlas needs help, I can aid Atlas.
Cool.
But I'm still like have access to
cool.
like range attack on the automaton.
That's
gonna be my bonus action.
Yeah, awesome. You Misty Step in there, and then what do you on the nat 20 perception check? I'm gonna give you this. You Misty Step into that space. All of a sudden, you are standing there at the edge, looking out now, like a complete mirror flip of where you just were on the other side of the automaton, looking at the same thing, but now you're out on the lawn, up here in the second tier of the library, looking down. Atlas behind you, books spread everywhere in the middle of that arcane circle, the cat sitting next to him like on the table, and Atlas looks up at you. Fauna, I need, can you help? I don't know if I can hold it. And you see he's got both hands on the ground and they are just shaking. There's like sweat dripping off his face. This 12-year-old kid is holding a spell. I'm not going to make you make an Arcana check for it because you get a nat 20 on perception. The energy that you feel in here is absurd. He has done everything correct. An incredibly intelligent child, but a child nonetheless. And channeling this amount of energy through himself into the spell he's trying to perform is enormous.
Okay, can I use my action to help like stabilize whatever he is doing?
I will give you two options. You can either, he gets a +7 to Arcana anyways. You can either use your action to give him advantage on his next Arcana roll, or you can make an Arcana check yourself. Basically, there's a certain amount of checks that he has to pass to pull off what he's doing. If he were to fail any of those checks by 5 or more, things would start to get bad for him, but he's done an incredible job so far. So you could either take one of those rolls from him and begin to share that burden with your turn, or you can give him advantage on his next.
I have advantage on Arcana and a +9, so I think I will roll Arcana 4
Perfect.
to help him.
Give me an Arcana roll with advantage. But I will say, I'm also going to need a roll on the Wellspring chart for this.
What about Misty Step? Do I need to roll for that too?
Oh my gosh, that's not a cantrip. No, you know what? I was going to talk to you about that one too, because it is inherent in your Fey touched ability. I think it's so inherent it doesn't
Okay.
need to touch the Wellspring
So
chart.
just one Wellspring roll.
It's as natural as breathing to you.
Okay. Ugh, gross. Okay, that was bad. So, 18 is the highest.
Okay. It's not a failure. Funny, you go to tap in and you are electrified. A little bit, you feel a small. You're already, like, horn's already pretty big as it is. As you feel the strain of this energy going through you, it is shocking. Now that you're sharing it, like 50-50, you cannot believe the amount that this kid was pulling through themselves to hold on to this. As your fingers just kind of like start to go into the floorboards because of those little claw nails you
My
have
little
now.
pointy.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna roll Wellspring.
Yeah.
23.
Okay, let me look at the Wellspring chart. Where are you, Wellspring chart? Fauna, as you are clamping down on this, you smell something. You're reminded of this time as a child in the Evewood when you were climbing a tree and you reached up further than you could see into the branches and put your hand into something. Oh, the texture soft and sticky, and you withdrew it. Just gobs of honey dripping down. That is the smell that you smell right now. And you realize it's you, because for the next hour you smell impossibly sweet. Like, the smell of honey is permeating the library right now.
Box kind of drools a little.
Yeah, it's just sort
Good
of that
thing Box
smell
isn't
just
a
kind of
bear
wafts
right now.
out of the library. Oh God. Okay.
Okay,
Fauna?
can I, as my last thing, can I hold the cat to give advantage to Atlas on their Arcana turn as well?
You certainly can. Okay. Box, that's you.
Vox is still on top of this thing, and she's gonna look around at the group and just yell to everyone, "Let's bring this asshole down!" And I am going to hold my action.
Okay. Okay, you're holding it. Nyx, that's you.
Still holding concentration on the whirlpool to make sure that we don't get absolutely bombed from behind by more cultists. And hearing Vox, Nyx is going to take up position and brace behind Atticus's shield. And they are going to actually turn their back to the automaton and taking out one of the Orcanthus crystals that Fauna harvested for them. They're going to hold it to their chest and crush it and store a 3rd level spell slot. I'm going to hold my action, but you see from the whirlpool, like, just a portion of the water is getting taken out, and I'm summoning it towards me.
Okay. Cool. Okay, Nyx, that's you at the end of your turn. this thing is going to take one of its legendary actions to... it's Atticus, it's still going. It's going for you. It's another multi-attack. I don't think an 18 hits, but I know a 30 does.
Yep.
Atticus, it's going to do 15 bludgeoning damage and then just another 5 fire damage for a total of 20.
Yeah, Atticus is bloodied.
Hold on 1 second. I also need to roll for that. Okay. That's this thing's legendary action, though. Atticus, it's your turn.
Yeah, Atticus takes that hit and kind of gets ready to swing, but hears what Vox has to say and holds his action. And that's my turn.
Okay. Atticus, you're holding your action. End of your turn, this thing is going to take another one of its legendary actions, and it's... As it goes to raise a fist and look at you, it is like you distracted it. When you came around the corner, this thing was tearing into the library as if that was its only job, because it was. And you distracted it very well. I mean, it's got an open chasm in its chest through to the furnace inside. But as it raises its fist, you see the head swivel back to look inside the library. Fauna, it sees you in there now, also concentrating with Atlas, as more of that light begins to come up around the circle, filling the library. Now, not just red, but also green, Fauna, with your energy as well. It's going to use one of its legendary actions to use its charger attack and just try and smash right into the library. It's not going to make it all the way to where... It's not going to make it all the way to where you are in this one little rush. So you and Atlas don't need to make any saves, however...
Does that allow for attacks of opportunity for all of us that are within range, since it's a movement? I think that means we all get to attack it.
Technically it does, yeah. As an attack of opportunity, that would mean all three. So Atticus, Perrin, who you said close the distance, and Vox, who you're still on this thing, like on its head now.
Then it is with this movement, is if anyone in the way, does it count as an attack as well on us that are under it?
If you were in the way, I think you were to the side of it. Like, you weren't between the library and it. I don't think, unless you want to flavor that you were. You were mostly like attacking it from the side, and it had turned to face you. The only person in between the library and it is Bert, who is still on its foot. So Bert is in its path.
If that is within 5 feet, do I get Sentinel on it? It's attacking Bert.
Yeah, because your attack of opportunity can stop it.
And stop that movement?
I mean, you get an attack of opportunity anyway, and anytime with someone with the Sentinel feat gets an attack of opportunity, if you hit with the attack, you reduce its movement to 0.
Okay. T4.
24 hits. I mean, roll the damage, but what matters more here is that this thing didn't get to smash into the library and step on Bert.
Well, fucking done.
23 damage.
Okay. Okay, that's this thing's legendary action. Perrin, that's your turn.
So we don't all also get attacks of opportunity?
No, you definitely do. Yeah, if you both want to use your reactions to Vox and Perrin, get one too.
19.
19 does not hit.
Do I get advantage on an attack of opportunity with Brightburn?
Yeah, Brightburn's still down there making him like darting in and out of its feet.
I love my puppy.
Mm-hmm.
That is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20 just hits.
Okay, so with that attack of opportunity, that is a 6 and 10, unless it could be a sneak attack if that counts.
No, you can throw sneak attack on because you held your action.
And
so you can throw sneak attack on this.
And I have Giant Smite, which is an extra d6 to that fail. So that is going to be 10, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, 26, 27.
Okay, that definitely gets past the threshold. This automaton's not looking great. There are some chunks missing, some joints are starting to freeze. It is spilling that molten ore from its center all over the lawn at this point.
Dad's gonna be pissed my lawn.
Because it is this low, though, there is a new thing going into effect, so I do need everyone to give me a dexterity saving throw.
With advantage again?
This is actually not a spell-based... I realized it's not a spell-based effect. It's like it's not magic. It's very practical.
I'm still going
to flavor the breath, what I'm doing as a breath weapon, as a magic thing, but this is not. This is just a practical thing that's happening.
26.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
Okay.
19. We said dex save?
Yes.
19.
Okay.
And
I still did advantage because of the bracelet and only got a 12, so...
Okay.
I do have full cover right now.
Yeah, you're still back around the corner,
shield.
so you're fine.
Yeah.
Actually, you don't have. Sorry, you don't have to make the dex save. Everyone but Atticus, you are going to take 11 points of fire damage, halved to 5. Atticus, you're going to take the full 11 as this thing is just beginning to spray mold, it's starting to fleck out of the joints and the core. Kind of everywhere in a pretty almost like a 50-foot radius. Hold on just a sec. Okay, those are the opportunity attacks. So now Perrin, it is your turn.
Okay, I have a few small questions that just determines the specifics of how I do this, so I'm not trapping you, I promise. Is this a gargantuan creature?
Ooh, how big is
20 feet by 20 feet? Or is it huge, 15 by 15?
No, it's gargantuan.
Okay.
Okay.
Perrin is going to hear Vox say, let's bring this thing down, and he's holding a fully assembled Ornament of Rights, which, viewers, is a staff flail weapon that has an elvish chain inside of it that extends up to 20 feet. And he is going to sprint the remaining distance in, and while he does so, he whistles to Amos, who is going to cast Zephyr Strike. Perrin, when he gets to the legs, he is going to do one attack with the base of Ornament of Rights, and then he is going to swing the chain around one leg, catch the end with his other attack, so it's not actually attacking it directly, and he's going to hand the head of Ornament of Rights to Atticus, and he's going to figure eight around the other leg. Now you tell me, this thing was just punching at Atticus. If its arm is still lowered, Perrin is jumping on that arm, holding the other end of Ornament of Rights.
Cool.
So I'm going to use its leverage against itself.
Yeah.
So you tell me what I need to roll out of those things.
I think so. To like I want you to make an attack roll.
Yeah.
To do this, that's going to hit and it needs to hit its AC, and then you're basically going to use your other action to like transfer this thing to Atticus.
Acrobatics.
Get on its arm. Yeah, I want an acrobatics check. It's going to be DC 15. So DC 15 acrobatics check and a successful attack roll. But what I will say is on this, because you're just trying to use you're just trying to if you're gonna AT-AT walker this thing and get its leg, what I'll do is I'll allow you to take that damage that you would have done, and Atticus can add that to whatever damage he because he's gonna have to make a successful athletics check to grapple this thing basically. But in that grapple, if he succeeds, I'll also let it do the damage that you would have to put with Atticus. So basically he'll just get your damage die. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So first attack, and
I just need a successful attack roll and then a DC 15 acrobatics.
All right. Okay, so my attack roll with Amos does not give advantage, but I have advantage because of the flank. Is that still accurate?
There's not the flank was only that one time special because Vox got a 20. At this point, there's no one on the other side of this, so you're not getting advantage. It's just a flat attack roll.
What about me? I'm on the other side.
Yeah, Fauna's on the other side.
No, because you're not behind.
Literally try to charge at it, right?
You're right here with Atticus, right? You're next to Atticus on this side of it. Or if you're around where Fauna was.
I'm on the side with Atticus, and it was trying to charge towards Fauna into the library.
Yes.
Doesn't that mean it's distracted by Fauna?
Yeah, but that's not flanked.
Okay.
I
just wanted to ask because circumstances change. Okay. Anyway, all of that to say that my first attack roll was a 19, so 28.
19 doesn't hit.
No, I'm sorry. My roll was 19.
Oh,
plus my...
God. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that definitely hits.
Yeah.
Okay,
plus my
cool.
9.
Fantastic. Great.
Okay, and now my acrobatics.
Yeah.
I'm going to use my inspiration.
Oh, Frack, I forgot I have Whispered Curse on, which means when it attacks me and does damage, something happens. I forgot. Sorry.
It didn't do damage. It's okay. I used inspiration and I got a nat 20 on my acrobatics check. 28 total. Which also triggers everyone else's actions, by the way.
Yeah.
Sure does.
Why don't the two of you with held actions and Perrin, why don't you all collaborate to tell me how you bring this thing down?
Yeah. So Perrin successfully runs through, and I think he just backhands the head of Ornament of Rights around the leg, coming around towards Atticus, and catches it and just plants it in his chest. And then he leaps onto the other arm and just shouts, "Go!"
With that, Fox is going to invoke Giant Smite and hope that the now huge weight of her throws this thing off a little. And she is going to leap down and attack this thing twice.
Give me those if Atticus, if you want to make your strength check to grapple this thing, I'm going to say on a successful grapple, this thing is tripped, which means all attacks against it are going to be with advantage because it's prone.
And Atticus gets my damage roll?
Atticus gets your damage roll automatically on this grapple, whether it works or not. And Atticus, you get to do the grapple with advantage because that's what Perrin get
I'll give you my number, Nyx.
Yeah.
Nyx is also going to summon a portion of that water off, and just a massive tidal wave is going to smack this thing. I want to aim full into its furnace, which extinguishes any unprotected flames.
Okay.
And also, if they fail their dex save, are knocked prone and take a lot of damage.
Okay. Atticus, did you already roll the athletics with advantage? Don't roll. Yeah, I'm going to tell you the DC that you have to beat because I'm going to roll for it. Okay. You just got to get an 18 or better.
Okay, cool. That is going to be... It's athletics, right? So that is going to be 22 with my athletics, and then I get plus 14 from Tyler's attack. So that's 34 total.
Well, the 14 was the damage, but you already... Here's what I'll say.
Oh, for damage, not to add to the roll, but I rolled a 22 on athletics. Thank you, advantage. I rolled a 2 on the first roll.
I know how much damage you all do in a turn.
I got a nat 20 on one of my attacks, by the way.
Jesus Christ. Atticus, will you give me the final...
No, I can do it. It's the Captain America bicep scene.
That's exactly what I was thinking, though.
Hold on, before you do that, here's what I want, just so we have the scene finished. Atticus, give me the last Arcana roll for Atlas. It's a +7, and you get to do it with advantage because the cat is helping.
$26. I rolled a 19.
Yeah. Atticus, what does it look like as you trip this thing down?
As like everyone is doing their part, you see like Perrin handing it off, and what does Perrin do when he hands it off?
I think he winks at Atticus, which also gives him bardic inspiration.
Yeah, and then he starts squeezing, and he looks up at Vox, turn into a giant. What is Vox doing?
Vox was turning into a giant and double slash down this thing, doing a 52 damage to it.
Yeah. Then Atticus starts feeling like wet drops like hit his face, and he looks back, and what does Nyx look like as they're like channeling the spell?
They've been holding concentration long enough. Their eyes are like almost like milky black with little reflections of the moon in it. And they're just gonna shout, "Everybody brace," and a wave just flies right past you.
Yeah, and as that happened, Atticus, it fully is like you see like his muscles flexing through his thing, and he just starts pulling it like a tug of war rope, and just completely like pulls it, and is like screaming while he's doing it. Probably the heaviest thing he's ever tried to put his muscles against.
And Amos tweets.
Yeah, Amos tweets.
Brightborn barks.
As Amos tweets.
Actually, Atticus yells, "Timber!"
And as you yell timber, all you hear the Oathbound fresh off your forswearing to each other for no other reason than you believe in each other. You bring down a titan over 30 feet tall that was bent on destroying not just the library, but the incredibly important ritual being performed by your son, Atlas. And as you bring it down, you see swinging up onto its neck, and you shout timber, Atticus. You see Bert swinging up onto its neck with his cowboy hat, and he rides it, yeehaw, all the way down to the ground as the wave just smashes into it. And you see limbs go, it lose an arm, caught in the, ripped off. You see sprays out a steam in the water as the arcane furnace inside it just begins to spew out into the tidal wave, and the lights out in the eyes.
Oh my god, did I do this? The Court of Tides? Did I make this wave happen? Guys, did you see that wave? I think I did that.
I think
Nyx
we did
down
it,
behind
bud.
the shield.
Holy shit, us.
War's not over yet.
Yeah, I do need one. We are effectively right now out of initiative order, but the end of initiative order, I need everyone who has allies left. You're going to make your ally rolls one more time. So for that, I need, if we're doing it in the right order, Vox, go ahead and roll for your villagers, you are getting, along with your stats, I'm assuming in order to move that here, you lost the whirlpool on the main battlefield, right? For Nyx.
I say that again?
You lost the whirlpool on the main battlefield to move that water here, correct?
I didn't move it. I used tidal wave.
Okay, cool. Okay, so everyone is still making these rolls with advantage for their allies. Vox, you now, though, only get a +1 to this roll.
I rolled 18, and I think that I'm going to move. Damn.
I will also say this is the last, I mean, I'll give it away. Like, this is the last round to use your pool points. So you've still got 42 left.
We have 36. I'm taking 10.
Okay, cool. 28. Okay. Atticus. I need you to go ahead and roll for Armitage for me. You are getting a -1 to this roll.
Advantage still?
Still advantage.
What happens if I roll a natural 20 in one of these? Because that's what happened.
Okay, you roll a natural 20. I'm going to tell you what happens.
Not hypothetical.
I'm going to tell you what happens in just a second.
I'd like to sincerely apologize to Elijah and how much we've just...
No, I mean, you fucked me, but I love it.
Yeah. We
I
might
love
actually
it.
have to roleplay tonight. Like, we just kind of burned through that combat.
Truly incredible. I mean, I gave you all those oath bat, like, you would have done great
those
without
hit
them.
fucking
but
hard. That
yeah.
smite was crazy.
They're supposed to. At this point, you're legendary heroes. Perrin, give me your ally roll for the Temple of the Quiet Fire. You're doing this with advantage, but you are no longer adding anything to it other than your modifier.
Okay, so just hypothetically, if I rolled an 8 but also a 20, it was a joke. It's not hypothetical. I just nat 20'd.
Are you kidding? 2 nat 20
Not
ally
kidding.
rolls?
It was actually the same guy that I rolled the last one.
Can we
on.
add 26 points to that, though, as well?
Boy.
Some come back from the dead.
Howdy. Okay.
Yeah, can we get the Legrands back?
You can't get anyone back, but no one else dies. Yeah, here's what I'm gonna say. Battle's over. You're all out of initiative order.
What the hell is going on?
Monks not doing great, villagers not doing great, but Notori is still alive thanks to that nat 20. And I mean, what are you checking on? I'll give you the nat 20 results when you go back to the main battlefield, but what is everyone doing here in this space first? Like, are you going in to check on Atticus?
Oh, for sure. I'm checking that guy's pockets. The construct, I'm going through that thing's pockets. I'm looking
You're
for
going through his
anything.
pockets. Oh, you know what? I completely... Hold on. I got so wrapped up in how much all of you kicked ass that I forgot about the spell.
Yeah, I was like, are we still doing something in here? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So, Fauna, you are feeling this energy ripple through you. You look across. I mean, I'm just going to use this as a descriptor, but like Atlas has gone full Super Saiyan at this point. Just like his hair's starting to float. There's an aura of like shimmery red around him. His eyes are closed. You can see his like jaw is clenched. And this little 12-year-old kid is channeling a spell that wizards that have 200 years on him would potentially break channeling. You see him take one last deep breath, And as he takes that deep breath, I mean, already everything has gone down with the automaton is down outside. Bert fully rode this thing like into the library, like tumbled off its head, does a somersault, and comes up right next to you, and eyes wide steps a little bit closer, and just puts his little froggy hand on Atlas's back. And you see Atlas breathes in and exhales, and similar to what you all saw in the council hall, in the war room, not even an hour ago. Energy ripples out. There's almost a shockwave, but soft. It's not really pushing any of you, that resounds throughout the library. And a single chime, like a clear bell, rings out in the space. And outside, around the manor, soft red light, like the sun rising, erupts around the manor beneath the feet of all the remnants of Ord left outside. And with Bert there and Fauna there, this light goes from red to green. And anyone who is out still on the lawn looking at like the ring of the remnants of Ord, you see the flora begins to grow up from the manor of the lawn. Grass, ivy, flowers, anything nearby begins to grow and snake around the limbs and bodies of the remnants out there. You hear some of them would go to scream, but it is muffled by vegetation growing, and they are just slowly pulled down beneath the earth. Atlas exhales. The light comes back down.
God damn. That was nuts.
Atlas is full, like not passed out, but just like not speaking, just sitting there as Bert claps him on the back. Yeah, what is everyone else doing?
Nyx drops Whirlpool and also drops to their knees. They've been holding that shit for a long ass time.
I think honestly Atticus would march back to the fields to make sure that like no stones are unturned with the like rest that are alive.
I still loot the construct.
Cool. Perrin, give me an investigation check on that construct. Atticus, you, knowing Atlas is safe, march back out to, like, you have to make sure that it's done, that there is no foe left on the battlefield, no threat to your family and friends. As you're stepping back onto the battlefield, I mean, there's a toll out here. You see many fallen as you are like kind of sludging through the water, like the muck that is left out here in the wake of the whirlpool that Nyx created. Sludging through the water, you know, you see a small pile of red sand here that just kind of barely peaks another one a little further. You see the bodies of village leaders, and I think maybe more impactful for Atticus, following close behind you is Cletus. You see the remaining Legrands that stayed true, lying there on the field next to so many remnants and other Othgar betrayers. On that nat 20, I mean, Armitage was at a negative for his modifier. It would have, like, basically the way that my mechanic was working would have caused all of his death saving throws to be rolled at once on that last roll, except for the fact that you got a nat 20. So as you step back out onto the field, you see there is like one last sort of remnant of Ord that's just like one hand, like kind of raised above the earth as they're sinking, and you see your father standing there looking down, and he just watches them sink below the earth, unmoved. There are no combatants left on the field, and Armitage is safe.
About 18 on that investigation.
Okay, cool.
You can tell me later if you want.
Yeah, before I give you the results, Atticus.
After the break.
Atticus, are you just coming out here to check the field and then going back to Atlas?
No, Atticus sees that, and he just kind of walks up and puts a hand on Armitage's shoulder.
Give me an insight check.
$21.
I mean, this was a big fight. Armitage took a lot on him. You were rolling for Armitage. Like, of all the ally pools, Armitage was the only one where he was by himself handling shit. He's tough. This took a lot out of him. But it's not just his tiredness from the battle that you feel. You put your hand on him, there's no raised defenses, you feel nothing but acceptance from him. He raises a hand, takes the helmet off, and drops it in the field.
You know why I wear the armor?
To hide yourself? I don't know. Don't know why you would hide such a handsome face. That's where I get it from.
Yeah, well, on looks you're a little more on your mother's side, and be thankful for that. But you're right. I mean, what happens when you look in a mirror? You see yourself. So if you wear one, no one ever sees you. Keep the armor together. You can hide from anyone or anything. So when I came back from the edge of the world, I had to hide from it, Atticus. Not just from that big old fucked up nasty bird, but from everyone. I expect you'll be wanting retribution for what happened at St. Florian.
Atticus kind of looks down and kind of looks at the chaos that has ensued at the manor, and then glances back at the library where Atlas is, and kind of shrugs. And a couple weeks ago, I would have said absolutely. I would have wanted blood in, blood out. But 2 weeks ago, I thought your grandson was dead and gone forever.
Oh, my what?
Yeah, Atlas. It's been so long since I've had a dad around, and so long since I've been a dad. Time gets all fucked up in this family line, but just like I realize my son needs a father, I need my father too. And my son needs his grandfather. I know you feel like there's shit you can't come back from, and you've done awful things and don't deserve to be with your family, but just like all those years we've lived and all those experiences we've had, they turn to dust eventually, and you make new memories out of it. And Atticus is gonna stick his hand out towards Armitage, and I'm willing to forgive you for all that, for helping us today, and with the promise that you'll be in my grandson's life, or you'll be in your grandson's life and my son's life. But that means laying down this mirrored night idea and being Armitage Phoenix.
You see him take a moment, puts his glaive into the wand.
I came back when I heard you were alive, Atticus. And when I came back, I thought I was coming back to stop him. To stop Okran. The only thing that keeps him going, it's us. It's our bloodline. So I figured you were still alive, there was still a chance he could burn the world. And I thought I could finish that. I thought I could solve the problem I created, but Atticus, I'm irredeemable. I'd block out the sun with smoke if it means my enemy starves. I've got so much hate in me. And I've spent my life afraid to become what I already was. I took the bargain with Okran because I couldn't stand not having the power to protect you. I ran because I couldn't stand to learn I had no power at all. I'm a coward, Atticus. But when I looked you in the eye in Asparia, I realized I couldn't do it again. So I guess I'm a coward twice over. But, I've seen what you can do, son. It's pretty incredible. So if you think you can take down this big nasty bird, well, then I'm with you till the end.
I'll meet your grandson, all right? And Atticus is gonna start trudging off the battlefield.
Nick sees them coming, and they had been watching from their position in the back the whole time. And you can see as they turn and seem to have made amends, they look really disappointed in Atticus. I think it just as they approach. So just like that, we trust him? He's a fucking imperialistic piece of shit. He helped steal my homeland, helped steal my freedom.
Yeah, and that's true. I mean, I'm not saying he hasn't done awful things, but he's also my dad. And if he can contribute to ending Okran for good, then that's a bargain I'm willing to take.
My God, guys, look at what I found.
Fox would look at Nyx and be like, he took you in.
Damn.
Yep. That one is gonna sting Nyx for sure.
Damn. Perrin, on the 18, you see marks on this thing binding it to service. I mean, you've seen an automaton before, I guess, so you've seen, because Silica was an automaton, so you're familiar with them. In this instance, though, like with Silica, you know, all those those were like either those like marks that made him subservient to, like, they were broken, repurposed because he was a conscious being, all his own thing, beholden to no one. You find what you expect to find on this automaton, a machine built for war. The iron, you're not terribly familiar with it. Wherever it is, like, it must have probably come from somewhere in the south. There's so much here that, like, maybe it was shipped in from somewhere else. I don't think you can identify where the iron comes from on an 18. As you're looking at it, though, like, the way that a smith works,
High Raiders.
the way that the way that a smith works is like particular to each smith. There's no signature on this thing. Obviously, like, it reeks of Akron. Give me an Arcana check.
That's a dirty 20.
Okay.
And Knights of Silver Moon, thanks for the raid. And High Raiders, welcome.
Hi, Raiders. Thank you. 20. Atticus, you're walking back over to this thing. 20. There's something familiar about this thing, though. The sense that you get from it, Perrin, it's like right there, but you can't quite identify it. Atticus, you give me an investigation check too.
Atticus, come look at this stuff. Isn't it neat?
That's 15.
You're pretty familiar with smithing, Atticus. You're looking this thing over. Pretty standard. There's something about it. Like, it's almost like it was made. You could, like I said earlier, you can tell it was made by a single smith. This isn't the work of like, this is someone's sole project. I think at a 15, you can also tell, even though it is a master work, this thing was made quickly too. You can just tell because of the way that it's all set together. Like, this wasn't a project that took place over months and months. This thing probably got hammered out and finished in like a couple weeks. Like someone working around the clock to build this thing. Give me an Arcana check.
$23.
Between a 15, that, and a 23 on Arcana, you're looking at it, Atticus. Why do all this work? You stabbed it already. Stab it again and see where this thing's been.
Well, the boys are... Go ahead.
The Atticus Atticus drives his sword in and tries to recollect its past.
Well, they're looking at this thing, definitely both curious. I want to pull out the glass and look at it through the glass.
You look at it through the glass, like this thing is linked to Akron's will. So not even the maker's will. It's basically like the maker. You see tethers that link it. Like, yes, it couldn't harm its maker. It couldn't, but it is not beholden to the smith. It is beholden to, as you are looking at this thing, you, again, in a similar way, I can't remember who saw it, but there was a point in this, I think it was Fauna who made a check last time and like saw the almost intangible black feathered wings wrapped around the manor when that spell was going on. Same thing here. It's almost like this thing has black wings that is folded around itself. It is beholden to Akron for sure. Atticus, you drive the sword in.
I'm passing out pieces, by the way, of the
cool.
glass that I took for everyone.
Ooh, yes. Smart. Atticus, you drive the sword in. And like always, it takes a minute. You're looking at the blade of the sword projected back to you like a screen. Playing in the image on the sword, you see a forge. Somewhere deep, a cavern. It's large enough for the purposes, but it's nothing like the Sundering Hearth of Asparia. This is like a single large forge. And then you turn the blade a bit, and the picture changes. You see, bent over with labor, working on one of the enormous arms, blow after blow, hammering it into place, chains on his wrists, another around his neck, linking him to the ground of this cavern. Much the worse for the wear than the last time that you saw him. You see Burgent Fellhammer working the limbs into place.
Perrin uses the glass that Vox has handed out to look at the item as well.
Yeah, same thing. Definitely linked to Akron. Essentially, what this night glass gives you is true sight with a few little like additions up to my discretion, basically.
Yeah.
For certain things, but yeah.
Because it's made out of expositiononia.
Exposition.
The well-known element.
Yes, everyone knows that element. Incredibly hard to come by.
Do I gain anything tangible to put in my little greedy pockets, or is it just the information?
Just the information. There's nothing else on this thing.
Perrin puts stuff in his pockets anyway.
Cool.
Break?
Yeah, let's do our 10-minute break. We'll be back in 10.
Viewers, thank you for joining us. We'll be back in a few minutes. Small break.
Bye, guys.
Drink.
That comment, I'm going to bring us back into session.
fully spit take
as
me.
we go back to stream.
Wow.
Don't say it
Yeah.
live. We'll all be
Never
damned.
show me that photo again.
Don't do it.
That remains dead.
But that's what you all think. I have all your addresses.
Oh boy.
Is that the Christmas card? Is that the holiday card this year?
That's the holiday card.
God, wait, brilliant idea.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
not us.
Oh,
it's
no.
just that.
Okay.
We need to get on that though.
What is everyone doing in this space? Like, you've sort of investigated everything that there is to investigate. I mean,
Is Fauna around me?
I'm
I'm
still
gonna
with
just go
Atlas.
to Fauna. I'm just gonna go
Yeah.
to Fauna real quick.
I'm still with that.
And,
I'm just like making
cool.
sure Atlas is okay.
yeah, Atlas is fine.
Yeah, and
He's sitting down. Ash has brought him some toast at this point, and he's just kind of sitting there eating some dry toast, sitting at the table, just
I
sort
could go
of
for some toast.
hair's all crazy. Ash goes running to go get you some toast too.
Hey, Fauna. Everything good in here?
Yeah, I think everything's okay. Atlas, you should be really proud of Atlas.
Never stop being for a second. Hey, listen. I think you should go check on Cletus. He's out there. I don't think he necessarily wants to talk to me right now. After everything that's gone on, but I know he would love to see you and know that you're okay.
Okay, I'll go check on him.
Okay, cool.
As Fauna walks out, Perrin's like, "Hey, Fauna, I don't know if you thought about this, but you should probably go check on Cletus. But I'm a good father, and I thought about that. Oh,
Yeah,
so you're good, right?
Thanks, Perrin. Yeah, you're good too, right?
I'm involved. Yeah, no, I'm involved and aware of your needs. I'm tuned in.
I appreciate that.
I got that riz.
I don't think you know what that word means.
Nope, I don't.
Okay. What is anyone else doing anything? Fauna, you're going to check on Cletus.
Do we need to do anything, or are we all just gonna like drama after the fact? Like, does actual action?
I mean, yeah, there's not really a lot to do. I suppose at this point you could have a
lot of sweeping up.
a council, a post-war council.
Yeah, can we just do the drama wrap up? I think
I
that's
imagine,
what we need to do. Is
yeah,
have
I
some
imagine
interpersonal
a
conflict.
long rest. I mean, is there anything that anyone else? It is like nighttime now, so unless there's anything other than Fauna checking on Cletus that anyone else wants to do this day, you're all welcome to take a long rest before we go to move to anything else.
I honestly think after that brief interaction, like, Nyx is just gonna probably stick close to Perrin, but mostly just they're down, they're tired, they're nearly completely spent out of everything, and they don't trust. They don't trust him at all, and
Hey, Nyx,
kind of avoiding them.
You want to go? I found a couple crates of wine. You want to go drink all of them?
I'd love to.
Hell yeah! Let's go
Perrin's
find
a
that
bad
punchy.
influence.
Let's go find that punchy cleric lady and let's all just drink a bunch.
Cool, you go to find Notori. Vlad is going to come up behind both of you. I don't suppose
Jesus Christ, Vlad, don't do that. Announce yourself when
Nyx
you walk
fully
in.
elbows him.
Fuck.
Like,
God
just
damn it.
impulse.
I don't know how you
solar
snuck up on
plexus.
both of us at the same time, but don't do that.
It is the tenderest spot on my body. Just hold on, give me a second. I don't suppose. Oh, excuse me. You would mind if I crashed your party, as it were, here at the manor? I would love a drink after that. I have to tell you now, that is the wildest shit I've ever been a part of, and I've been a part of a lot of things.
I was gonna say you have a lot to compare that to, but you shared more than enough of your own stock at your place, so come on.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Vlad's gonna come with you. You find Notori too. I mean, Notori knew the stakes, but could use a drink now. The 10 monks that Notori brought with her they all fell on the battlefield. You all go to have a nightcap, or possibly more than a nightcap, before bed. Atticus and Vox, are either of you doing anything before you head off for your long rest?
Yeah, Atticus is checking in on Atlas, and once he finds out that he's all good, he's like, "Hey, before bed, I want you to meet somebody real quick."
Yeah, yeah. Uh, okay.
Atticus is gonna like pick him up like a kid, the kid he is, and take him outside where Armitage is, and he's gonna go, Atlas, this is your grandpa. This is Grandpa Army right here.
I thought. Well, you said he was dead. Is he a ghost?
No, in a figure of speech kind of way, yeah, but no, this is him alive in the flesh, and he's very eager to meet you.
Wow. So, just kind of a ghost, Grandpa. Armitage is gonna. Armitage kind of gives a gruff little laugh. Atticus, Armitage did not laugh much, so it kind of takes you aback. You know, it's kind of.
Ghost Grandpa. Kind of has a nice ring to it. So, you're my grandson, huh? Atticus, tells me the spell around the manor that took all those remnants down. Said that was you.
Atlas, is going to get down as, again, like Atlas loves being close to you, but is 12 years old, so is going to sort of like, as much as he can sort of retain like some dignity, kind of like gets down from your arms, Atticus, and looks up at Armitage, is kind of too stunned to say anything, and just sort of wide-eyed shakes his head.
Well, I'm impressed, little one. Well, I don't rightly know how to make an apology for all the things I've done. But I'm sorry when you were born. I wasn't there.
And as this is happening, Atticus, you look around and you see that there are kind of the first fireflies of the night that start to, like, in this, you know, it's been dusk for an hour now, like the sun is set, so it's dark enough that they're starting to first kind of spark up and fly around. And you just see, still not speaking, like Atlas quickly like looks down, darts and catches one, checks his hand to make sure that he got it, and then just holds it up to his grandpa, opens his hand, and the firefly flies out, kind of like darting, and you see the little glows illuminate Armitage's face. I probably gotta go to bed soon because I'm still just a kid and I don't get to stay up with the grown-ups, but do you want to catch fireflies with me before I go to bed? Atticus, give me an insight check.
$19.
You are reminded of a time when you were, I mean, even younger than Atlas, because your Armitage disappeared when you were 10. But you remember a time when you were even younger. It was always your mother's job to tuck you in and tell you a story at bedtime. But more than a few of those nights being tucked in and told a bedtime story by Athena, what preceded that was you being out in the yard catching fireflies with Armitage. And as Atlas poses this question to him, you see his entire countenance lit up by that single firefly softens. You don't see a hardened rune knight anymore. You don't see an imperialist. You don't see a murderer. What you see is a father who made countless mistakes in trying to protect his son from a curse that he was born into. And Armitage gives a small smile and nods, and he and Atlas go off to catch fireflies together.
Hey, don't forget, if you catch them, you gotta make a wish, all right?
Dad, come on. That's like the whole point.
Atticus, like,
He thinks we're just trying to catch them because they're bugs.
Yeah, I'm the lame dad now. I see that. I'm gonna laugh and realize how actually hurt I am, and stumble back towards the manor.
Yeah, you feel like a couple ribs kind of like are a little gushy down there, and that pretty tender.
Perrin has for sure led this troop of drinkers and whoever else they pass along the way. They're handing crates out, and he's leading them out to the battlefield, and he's gonna make them all drink on the battlefield, and he's gonna stand up on a big stack of crates and announce to them, this is a little something that we do. It's important. We lost friends here today, but we're still walking, so we drink to remember, we drink to forget, we drink for the fallen, we drink to remember to stand, and today we were born anew in pain and blood. We say farewell in love and honor to those who will never drink again. And he holds up a bottle.
Everyone else holds one up.
All right. Nobody leaves the battlefield until you've fallen asleep because you drank too much. That's the rule. Don't lay on anything sharp.
Yeah, from some of the villagers that have gathered there, you hear a cheer, kind of like a not inappropriate, but like a hearty agreement. Yeah.
Fox is gonna go into her room, not to yet sleep, but because I believe I still have a cultist in my closet.
I believe you are correct. What would you like to do?
Yeah, Fox is gonna walk into her closet, stare at this girl, and she's going to pull out a knife.
I mean, I think you had left the cult member and they're like bound and gagged, so she just like wide-eyed is looking at you with the knife and kind of just closes her eyes and turns away.
I am going to cut the gag from her mouth. Well, we stopped whatever it is you had planned.
Yeah.
Here to tell me where the leader is now?
I mean, if you stop whatever was planned out there, then then you got rid of all the mouthpieces. They get their orders from Akron, and we follow them because that's how we bring them back.
Bring them back? Akron?
It's how we bring back all the ones that we've lost. The Lifebringers promised us all that in their service we don't have to be afraid of death anymore, that we can bring back the ones we've lost.
Seems like more of a curse. He's planning on doing to you what he did to my friend. It is nothing but a curse, and the cycle will continue to repeat itself. We need to know where Akron is.
I'm going to make a history check for this person. I don't know. I'm not a mouthpiece.
Then tell me why you should be useful to me, and I shouldn't just kill you right here.
Give me an insight check real quick.
Ooh. I get advantage on insight, and the first one was 11, and the second one is a dirty 20.
Okay. On a dirty 20, she's not keeping anything from you. Like, there's no truth that she's withholding about her knowledge. What you see right now, and I think what you saw before too, was somebody taking action in a group, not necessarily reluctantly, but in a way that, like, she didn't like what she was doing. She didn't think she had a lot of options for what she wanted to achieve. And what you see right now, like, I think in combination with the fact that what was supposed to happen should have already happened now by nightfall, so that in conjunction with you telling her, like, she fully believes you. There's no, like, obviously there's not a huge battle going on outside because you're here and pretty collected. This has fully taken the wind out of her sails in such a way that it's not like telling someone who is on the other side against you that their side is lost. It's more like telling someone the thing that they most hoped they could achieve is not going to happen anymore. But it was never necessarily their direct intent to make you their enemy in trying to achieve what they were trying to achieve. It was just the only way they had to do it. And so she looks at you now, you don't see, like, any type of courage or any type of, like, I'm willing to die for this belief. You see someone who you've pulled the rug out from underneath, and she doesn't know what to do. And she just starts crying.
I think that Vox is going to take a big breath and lean forward with the knife in her hand, and she's going to cut her loose.
What?
And I'm going to put the dagger back in her hand. I gave you an idea before to go and to travel and to experience new things. I suggest you go and do that now. And if you turn a dagger on someone who trusts you again, I'll find you and I'll know. And you won't have a hand to hold one.
Vox, give me an Arcana check in this moment as you hand her the dagger.
That was a nat 20.
Hey yo.
The girl. I mean, now
Look,
that you're
is my one
yeah,
and
like
my
now that you're
20
looking at
look
like she's
alike?
she's probably just in her late teens, like truly still a child,
A girl.
for a lot of intensive purposes. Takes the knife, looks at you, has a moment where there's like almost a look of like gratitude in her eye, but there's the terror is still there too. Like she's, as far as she's concerned, she still feels like she's in enemy territory. But she's going to take it, clutch it to her, and you see she just books it, just runs out of the room, down the hall, to some exit that the staff would know, and you know not how far she will continue to run. Except when you placed the dagger in her hand, you feel something, Vox. Brightburn's still next to you. When Uru had told you that someone was scrying on you, he told you that it emanated from the sword which is now your, like, companion, Brightburn,
I'm
the dog.
you.
Still, I think, actually probably wearing a collar that looks like just has sort of like the emblem of the rapier that was Brightburn, like embossed into the leather of the collar with like kind of like flowers growing around it on the collar. That was where the scrying spell was centered, was it? So still, as a like this person that you met in the Tarian Moorhold, wherever and whenever they are, this scrying spell that is on Brightburn, you feel on a nat 20 Arcana check. It's not Brightburn casting the spell, like it's not your companion casting the spell. But in the same way that there's a scrying spell on Brightburn, this like Brightburn is this anchor point for this entity that you have met. You feel them like in just a quick little like, just like a whisper, a scrying spell attaches itself to the dagger that you give to the girl, and it is permanent. At any point that you would like, you can look in and see what she is doing.
Oh, that's real sweet.
Okay. I think with all that said, we're gonna go back to like Fauna, who is you're going to check on Cletus. It is a mess out here on the lawn, Fauna. There are bodies everywhere. You see like some of the villagers who are already collecting their dead and beginning to basically set up pyres for them. You see Notori, who still like bottle in hand is like quietly in each like where each monk fell, she's doing some kind of rite. You see like her hand burning white, symbol of the bright hands, and also the symbol of the Temple of the Quiet Fire, as she is putting them all to rest. And you find Cletus walking out of the front door of the manor, holding a figure wrapped in a sheet, just sort of bound up as he's walking out onto the lawn. He sees you, but he doesn't say anything. Just keeps walking across the lawn. Are you going to approach him?
Yeah, I think Fauna would just fall in step next to him, but not say anything yet. Just walk in supportive silence until Cletus is ready to talk. And if if he's like doing anything, like if he's, starting to like bury his dead or like do any kind of like ritual, she would just lend a hand.
He walks to the edge of the property, actually, like just past sort of the clearing where Phoenix Manor is, so that he is fully like in, Phoenix Manor is built behind it, and on all sides are the swamps and kind of the wetlands of the South Green. But directly in front of it, Phoenix Manor sits here right on the edge of the Unbroken Green, so it is really, truly this close. This land that is sacred to the Othka. He approaches the edge of the Unbroken Green, takes a deep breath, and then steps out onto it. And sets the body down on the green. And you see him kneel. Fawn, are you going to stay close enough to Cletus that you can hear him? Or are you staying back a little ways?
I think she would stay close.
Okay. You're close enough to hear him as he like bends down into the grass of the Unbroken Green and puts his forehead on what would be like over the heart of the corpse. I'm so sorry I was gone. I should have been there. I should have seen it. I spent so much time running around, caught up in adventures and being a hero that I abandoned you, Regina. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And Cletus just, I think, like fully rests his head in both hands and goes silent for a few minutes. Stands up. And I think for the first time acknowledges your presence, Fauna, as he looks over at you. Thanks for being here. I didn't feel like it was correct to ask anyone else to come with me on account of, well, you know.
I'm so sorry that this happened. I feel like it's hard to know what the right thing to do is in a situation where you have loved ones on both sides. But you know I'm here for you.
Yeah. It doesn't go unseen, Fauna. I think I'd like to get some rest now. You see he pauses for a moment and then reaches out his hand. I'd like to get some rest, but I don't want to be alone.
I don't want to be alone either.
Cletus takes your hand and heads back to the manor. Everyone, you have your long rest for the first time in 3 sessions and 2 combats. And everyone, go ahead and congratulate yourselves on not being dead after a full war council ambush and then a full war.
Good job, party.
By the way, anyone who I think Perrin is going to heavily encourage everyone else to literally drink until blackout. But anyone who's paying attention to it, he does not drink that much at all.
Okay.
He gets things started and then he kind of peels off and just sits. He gets very sad after battles, but he knows it's important to pick everyone else up. That was what he was doing, and then he's going to go out to the edge.
For probably the first time you guys are actually seeing Nick's drink.
Yeah.
Oh, Atticus is passed out in the library. They sat down, they snagged a bottle of wine on the way out, and just leaned back in a chair. And they just fell asleep in one of the chairs, leaned back with a whole
just a lazy boy,
almost empty
full
bottle
dad
of
mode.
wine, just like this.
On their way back in, they pass the library, and Fauna just replaces Atticus's wine with a cup of tea.
Very nice. Very nice.
And then she takes the wine with her.
Perfect. Parent, you said that you don't drink that. You kind of leave, and I it's well into night now, but you're walking out to are you going kind of to the edge of the manor where the Unbroken Green starts?
Okay, so in Perrin's mind, what's going on is he basically sort of instinctually just understands the trauma that battle is, but he can't deal with it in a positive way, but he knows that something should be done. So that's all he's trying to do, is get everyone he's trying to triage a wound, I guess.
Yeah.
So he's kind of circling around this group and making sure that nobody gets
cool.
Nobody spirals in on the negative. He just wants to make sure everybody's together, but he's unable to benefit from that because he's keeping an eye out on it. He can't actually experience it. Yeah, he'll just kind of wander the perimeter of this battlefield, the party, whatever.
Yeah. As you're wandering around the perimeter and kind of checking it, the hours kind of during your watch, the hours just kind of start to melt by, Perrin. And you're losing track of time, one foot in front of the other, tending not just to the wounded, but to the distraught. A lot of people here have lost friends, family. Pretty far into your rounds. Amos is kind of going to and fro, and she'll flip to that tree or over to this, and almost kind of like a beacon that you follow to know where there are people that need you most. You follow Amos. And there is a point well into this that she comes back and lands on your shoulder. She'd be proud of you.
Who? What? Flora?
Well, I'm sure Flora would be proud of you too, but your mom. When I was little, that's a weird thing to say, I'm still little.
Yeah, just the right size.
When I was new, and it was my 3rd spring, I had my first nest. And I was so happy. There were 3 eggs, and I built the most beautiful nest. But I lost them. I lost the eggs. Some predator, I don't know, came. I must have been asleep, or I couldn't save them. But your mother, she saved me. You can't always save everyone, Perrin. All you can do is try.
Do wish that I had actually known her. It's like sometimes I do things and I feel like it's something she taught me, that it's something she told me to do, but I can't actually hear her saying it. And I wish I just knew what it sounded like.
Your mother, she used to sing to me when I was sad. She said it was her way of letting me know I was loved, that I wasn't alone. Do you know what song it was?
No.
It's the same one I sing to you.
Yeah, and I did know that song before I met you. Echoes in my dreams. Feel it somewhere inside me. Wish I knew what it meant to have these things. I hated it for a long time. I don't like people telling me that something matters, or fate matters, or I have to do this, or I'm court that. But there's something that matters about that song, and I wish I knew. I wish I knew where I came from. For real.
Perrin, Amos is going to lean in, and they begin to sing that familiar mockingbird song that they sing. As they are singing it, hold on, I have to look something up because it has been a hot minute since we used this. Where are you? Nope.
Another session, June cries.
Oh, there it is. Okay, hold on. Now I just have to find it in the... Dang. I can't find it anywhere. Hold on. I have to check Discord now.
While Amos is singing to Perrin, Perrin's gonna continue to circle like the people who at this point are beginning to collapse on themselves, and he's gonna just kind of join in and sing with her.
And then Perrin shows everyone his cat.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yay!
No, there's an actual cat.
Yeah, Perrin has had a cat in his pocket this whole time.
Maybe the cat is just hanging out with Perrin right now.
I feel like, hold on, I'm gonna have to go all the way back. I'm gonna have to go back in like Discord messages because I think somebody asked for this thing once and I sent it to them.
Atticus is actually just holding the cat in one arm.
God, I should have done this first. Okay, I found it.
He's passed out.
Perrin, as you are humming this song with Amos, you think about it and you realize you remember the tune, it's in you, but then you think back to that moment in the woods, in the place between, in that little window of time that you had with Flora walking the path in your cabin to the Evewood. And you remember hearing Balak singing these words to himself. And you realize that you remember the words too, because usually it was just humming. But for some reason you can hear in your mother's voice these words. In the greening wood, on the winding path, I find myself at peace, when the hunt no longer calls to me. With you, my dear, I know no fear, in the grandeur of your company. Through the burning flame, through the endless night, in the gardens of my youth, oh, every hour I dreamed a world where I was holding you.
Fade to black.
Yeah. I think we cut to the next morning. I would say what is everyone doing like once they get up from their long rest, but I kind of feel like at this point like the ball is in Atticus's court to call a post-war council.
Oh, Perrin has for sure not
next.
actually slept and has raided the kitchen and made the largest quantity of inappropriate meat breakfast.
Yeah.
Like not bacon and ham, but like steak and whole chickens and like the like
still meats
whole...
you would eat normally.
Yeah,
Ribs and
normal
whole
meats. Just not breakfast.
I don't know. Inappropriate meats was really, I was really picturing something else.
There's some of those too.
Yeah.
Atticus is fully in like a dad robe and is wearing his reading glasses that he got back. Wait, did I lose those again? Did they break? No, I got them back, right?
I mean, you got them back.
Nyx fixed them, right?
Yeah, he's in a robe with his reading glasses on with that cup of tea in his hand. He walks in on Perrin just cooking, and he's like,
it's like 18 cows worth of meat. Like it's too much meat.
I don't know if we have that many livestock on property, or Perrin, you're not
anymore.
Don't tell me you raided the battlefield for this breakfast.
Look, some of those horses were still fresh.
Let's say someone were to have raided the battlefield for their breakfast. Would that be an acceptable thing to do?
Yeah, Vlad
is saying this, like sitting there eating a plate next to...
Vlad is eating red chowder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Atticus is gonna, take a plate, put on his armor, back on his stuff, and he's gonna let Ash know. He's like, hey, Ash, let anyone that is on the battlefield or at the property to meet on the battlefield for a host.
Oh, you don't want to eat any of this? You just want to let it all...
He holds it. He has a plate in his hand.
Right. Well, tell them to go here first and pick up food, then go to the battlefield.
Yes.
Which is where everyone is passed out right now.
Fox is very sleepy-eyed and is, for the first time, not wearing her armor. Is just in like a sleeping gown and is like, wait, back to the battlefield.
Perrin hands her an 8-pound steak.
She just sits with 2 daggers instead of silverware and is cutting through the steak.
Yeah, you see Bert is already sitting on top of like what looks to be about a 4-pound steak, and he's just literally sitting on top of it while he eats it. It's real good. He cooked it pretty nice.
Yeah, yeah. Ash, let them know to grab food, and I guess just meet out on the lawn
Cool.
when everyone's ready.
Ash heads out to go do that.
Hey, Atticus, can I talk to you for a second?
Yeah. Make sure you grab a plate first, and I don't want you going hungry. And I'll meet you outside before everyone else. And Atticus is gonna step outside.
They do. They get a little light plate. Definitely not a lot of meat. It really no meat, actually. Vegetarian.
Oh, Perrin for sure has like winks at her and has like a whole area to the side that's just like
cute.
Fresh veggies and some bread and mushrooms.
They'll take a plate and step outside.
There's also probably something there that for sure Nyx doesn't eat, but Perrin is sure is technically vegetarian, but is definitely not.
I mean, Fauna would probably hit the vegetarian section too, so.
There's a bunch of very stinky herring over there.
Oh. Yummy.
That's not vegetarian.
Doesn't know that. Perrin doesn't know.
Doesn't know that fish is a meat?
No, it comes from water. What do you mean? You put water in plants and fish come from water. Look, all I'm saying is like plants grow in water, fish grow in water.
I don't think it's a very hard concept to grasp. He's being very clear about everything.
Yeah.
Nyx is gonna find Atticus and come up to them, and their whole manner is tense, but I think they have their head bowed a little bit and trying to respect some distance. And I wanted to apologize for last night. And they're going to pull out their loonstone and kind of hold it in their hand for a second. And George asked me why I carry this thing around. Something that could be used against me so easily just hung on my neck, and I told him it was so I could better protect it, but I don't think the real reason hit me until just then. For all the harm this thing has brought me and others, its first act was one of love. From my father, he was the one who put me in, one who cast the spell, and he did it to protect me. I think the real reason why I carry it is because in many ways it's the last thing I have of them and of their love. And maybe your father wasn't so different. Maybe great acts of love can sometimes cause great pain, and while we both carry our curses around with us, maybe we're carrying a bit of them too. I think it's okay to still hate the outcome while cherishing the love that brought us here, and maybe it's okay to still hate the Mirrored Knight and still love your father. I don't trust him. I can't, and I won't, and you can't ask me to do that, not after what he did. But I do trust you. And I may not like this, but you're right in that we can use him. And in the meantime, for all my feelings, it would be wrong of me to hold family against you. You haven't had it for so long. So cherish them and be with them while you can. And I'll be here when you're ready.
Appreciate you saying that, and understand the consequences of my decision. Albeit maybe selfish, but it's in my blood, Nyx. Maybe I'm too forgiving, maybe I'm too...
You see the best in people. You inspire the best in people. Right.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, for all that my father has been to people like you, to, I'm sure, people of this continent, I wouldn't be anything I am without him and my mom, and I take a little bit more after my mom, I do have to admit, but if the man is still there that taught me how to swing a sword and to have a curious nature in life and to see the best in people is still in there, then there's a chance that it comes out again. Not asking you to lack the decision, not asking you to trust him. That's my burden, and I'll take that on. But I wouldn't do anything directly or with knowledge to harm you or anybody that I'm traveling with. I think I've proved that time and time again. But this is it's a matter of the heart for me, and I do have to see it through. So I appreciate you understanding the family aspect of it.
For your sake, I hope you're right.
Hey, and if not, I'll get that father-son brawl that I've been tripping about over the past couple weeks. But no, I think Nyx,
as much as I would love to see
last night was, even after the chaos and the wreckage, like, we met Atlas and they went and hunted fireflies, and like my dad used to do that with me when I was a kid, and like I know it's there. I know there's still good in him. Let me help bring it out, and thanks for at least trusting me enough to get that moment.
Heroes come rare and far in between. In this world, that's exactly what you are, Atticus Phoenix. You inspire goodness and light in a world that is far too often dark, and I know we still have a nasty bird to face, and you're not too sure you're going to come out of it, but... well... I'm not ready to say goodbye to you just yet, and I'm hoping this world isn't either.
I hope not either, but, you know, with people like you and Perrin and Box and Fauna, I feel like I can't lose, and if I do, at least I know y'all will do right by me and carry on what I've tried to instill, at least, you know. But
you deserve a life of softness after all of this.
You're a hero too, Nyx.
I don't know about that. I think Fox was a little right with that comment. I'm not one to judge here.
That just proves my point. I mean, look, I know in couple minutes, maybe hours, maybe days, Lisa's gonna come up to me and wanna talk about what I did last night. Was that a good decision? I don't know. It felt like what I had to do in that moment, but we're more than just one moment. We're more than just a couple of years or things that happen in our life. There's intricacies, and Who says you can't flip that script one day and come out brighter than these peaches that grow on in this land, you know? Like,
Oh, the peaches. I still smell them on Fauna every once in a while. It's just so sickly sweet and just in her clothing, and I don't want to tell her. I'm not really sure how.
That's just the honey smell now.
That's just the honey smell now. Both of you are starting to see like your remaining allies gathering on the lawn along with the rest of the party.
Well, it's time to get this show on the road, and he's gonna give Nyx a quick squeeze, like a hug, and then care about you deeply, Nyx. Thanks for talking to me. And he's gonna jump on the box that Perrin brought out.
The box immediately shatters.
Just land. I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'm tall enough, y'all.
Bert runs out and puts a much smaller box down in front, and then looks up at you like smiling, as if he's done an excellent job.
Why don't you step on that, bud?
Oh, yeah, okay. Bert steps up next to you and still makes it up to about your hips standing on the small box.
Yeah. Atticus is going to look around real quick and kind of look at like the wreckage of the battlefield, and what happened last night, y'all, was nothing short of a miracle in my eyes. I mean, unexpected, not prepared yet, had the odds against us, but with people like you around, Atticus is going to look, when he says that, at his party, at the allies that showed up, everybody. He's like, there was no way we weren't walking out of this as victors. Now, the enemy are a bunch of cowards in my eyes. Snuck up on us. Tried to get us while we were just forming, but they made a fatal flaw in that, because I've learned a couple things from this battle. One, that giant automaton that crumbled on the field, I think I know where they're producing them. And B, I think I still know where Auckland is. Now, I'm not asking all of you to forfeit your life after a tremendous battle to go on another crusade, but I think we got a real shot of ending this for good and saving the land. I wouldn't want to do without any of you. I think this is what heroes are made of, and this is the ultimate thing we can do for our land. So, what's y'all's thoughts?
Do you even have to ask anymore?
How soon are we leaving?
Cletus doesn't say anything, but Cletus just puts his I'm not going to make you make an insight check for it. He puts his sword down in the ground, not in an act of I'm ready to go with you. Doesn't say anything, but just plants his sword. Or I should say both of his short swords.
Not under a breath, but quietly, just so Cletus can hear. I feel like Fauna, Mr. Cat, not right now. Fauna would just say, "Are you sure? No one would fault you if you needed some time."
This nasty bird. If anyone can be blamed for Regina's death, it's that thing. Won't feel right until it's gone.
Fauna just will take Cletus's hand. Also, just point of order, were we resting last night, or were we resting? You know what I mean?
That's up to Fauna. It's totally up to you how you wanted that to go. It is entirely in Fauna's hands. Atticus, you're saying that like you see, that the allies remain that stand up. You look around like at the villagers remaining, you realize there's a notable absence because as you're looking around, you realize you never saw, like you'd sent missives to a lot of the nearby villagers. You had also sent missives to Port Amat. You had allies there. August, Candor. No one from Port Amat showed up. Roll me a history check real quick.
$23.
You think back to the port. Why would they not have come? Certainly they were close enough. They could have made it here once they received the missive. And then you think about that moment that you had back in Gardner Hobron's place, where you found that ancient statue of the phoenix behind the house. Akron is fighting a war against you. You know how wars work. Give your enemy no quarter. Attack every point of importance, preferably before your enemy knows that the house staved with the remnants of Ord in your absence, so that a perfect ambush could be sprung on you. The manor, obviously an incredibly, like a grouping point to you and your allies, a place that is rich with knowledge and lore on how to take on this nasty bird. The statue of the phoenix. You remember the feeling that you had being in its presence. Maybe there's a reason that Candor and August aren't here.
While Atticus realized that, he kind of like, this is what I'm proposing. Nyx, Vox, Fauna, Perrin, Cletus. We're gonna travel to Port Amal after this to investigate. I think there's a outholden out there. I am proposing that the rest of you who are willing and able, I would like to send a group to St. Florian to investigate the ancient infrastructure there that the city's built upon. And I'd like to send another group, if we have enough, to Imago. Was it Imago or Asperia? Was
Iman.
that where Burgent was?
Asparia was where Burgent was.
Okay.
If you want to send allies like on the double hustle to Asparia, God, I'd have to pull up the map.
Could I just ask Riviana the following evening to keep her eye out and let me know what's happening in Asparia?
Boom. Ravenna can absolutely go
get
to
a group
investigate.
together there.
Oh my God. Yes. Yep.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So
Brilliant.
Fox has got that. Where else did we need to go? St. Florian and where?
Port Amal.
Elijah, has Perrin been to either of those?
To Port Amat? Indeed you have.
I can take us there now. Do you want to go there, Atticus? You can send another group to St. Florian. Do you have anyone here who knows St. Florian?
I mean, I assume most of you know St. Florian as the biggest city in the area. and being leaders of your houses. No, I think this is the group that needs to go to Port Amat.
Notori's going to like stand up and walk over to you, Perrin. Yeah, I mean, if you can send us to St. Florian, I don't mind taking a group there with me, and then we'll investigate, find what we can, and we'll hold it down for you while you go to Port Amat and then meet us there.
Yeah. So, Atticus, we can wrap up things here. I'll send them today. We'll leave tomorrow.
Oh, I do want to make one more note of importance of this. This is the first battle in many battles, but this was the first battle of a renewed court of the old. And the people that I traveled with, my friends, are those people. Along with a new court that has been entered into Port of the Unbroken Green. And he's going to look at Cletus and Bert.
Oh, that's me.
With this, I know things are going to be set right. And thank you, everybody. I have nothing else to say, but be safe, be smart, and we'll see each other again soon.
Yeah, I love it. Everyone is coming together. You know your things. Perrin, you have, like, Atlas offers his help, and between the Phoenix Library and Atlas, I'm not going to make you roll to set up doors to Port Amat and St. Florian. Between Atlas's help and all his extensive research, he's able to help you, like, boom, you can
like
create
hone
these.
it in. Cool.
Yeah, hone it in.
Who's going with Notori?
I think Notori is going with the villagers that remain, and like Armitage is going to volunteer for this too, to head to St. Florian.
Do the doors close like right after you go through them, or how does that work?
Yeah, pretty much.
So
it's up to whatever works best in the moment.
Yeah, basically the party split would be like the allies that were present here, like Vlad also, I think Vlad's in it now, so he volunteers to go with Armitage and all of them to St. Florian, which leaves you and then Cletus and Bert to head for Port Amat. And if that party split works, then that's how we'll split it. So basically,
just staying at the.
It's up to you, Atticus. I mean, Atlas would put up a half-hearted attempt to argue to like want to go with his grandpa to St. Florian, but you also know he's safest here at the library.
He's got Ash and his like ghost
Ash
mom
is here.
figure, right?
Ash and ghost mom.
And presumably,
ghost grandpa, ghost mom.
all the bad influences are dead now, so like,
yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah. And I mean, God, I can't remember that.
Did Granny a librarian? Was she in on it, or she?
No, actually. No, actually. So she's there, and she's also she's going to help.
She's polishing her battle axe.
She'll probably help start sending out
missives
that
she
for
was
new
out of the
staff and
battlefield,
stuff.
like just murdering guys.
No, she was in there reading books. Like when that giant automaton crashed into the library, and like Alice, she knows she's too old to be of much help, so she was just kind of sitting in the back reading through a book, and she just sort of saw it happen and went, and like went back to reading. Pretty standard fare for her.
Yeah, I just tell Atlas, I'm like, you're gonna stay here.
Okay.
This is where you're safe.
Yeah.
But you're head of Phoenix Manor now, so you need to take care of it. All right.
Right. Dad, I found this. And you see he gives you a small gold ring with the little bright hand crest on it, the crest of your mother, the flaming hand. And he's also got a similar one. I think this will let us send messages back and forth. I'm going to stay here in the library, and Dad, I'm sure I can learn stuff that will help you. I know I can.
Never doubted for a second, bud. Now come give your dad a hug.
He comes and gives you a big old hug. I think to wrap the session up, because again we'll be on break for a week after this, so we won't be back with Castle Run until the 16th. I think if we're breaking on that, if I've done my math correctly. I think we're going to end with this. We know how the parties are splitting. We know where you are all headed next, to Port Amat.
When Perrin leads Notori to the door to lead her through, they for sure have developed like an extensive secret handshake the night before.
Awesome. You do that.
Fauna's like kind of
That
jealous.
group is heading out
because she's like, why don't we have a secret handshake?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Fauna.
Atlas, I think in the moments as this is happening and everyone's like, you're standing there in the library, obviously it hasn't been repaired yet, so there's still that enormous, like, just a big old fucking hole punched in it, like much larger than you, that you can see out of. And this part of the library looks out towards the Unbroken Green. And I think before that party to St. Florian, before they step out, Armitage is going to walk over to you.
Hey, I've been holding on to this for a while now. At some point, I don't know, I thought maybe I'd need it. Maybe I'd have something to say. But I think it belongs. Well, I think it belongs with you.
And Armitage is going to reach out, and in your hand he places a coal. It's hot, not hot enough to burn your hand, but hot enough that you feel it spread through your forearm about up to your elbow. Just this little bright, burning coal.
That there's a coal from the edge of the world where your blue friend found me. You want to have a conversation with someone that's passed from this world into the next. All you gotta do is put the coal on your tongue. You can talk to him just for a minute. But, well, minute's better than nothing.
And puts his hand on your back, and I think actually gives you like a small squeeze on your shoulder, and then he's going to walk and head towards the portal. And I will ask you, Atticus, in this moment, before you leave, standing out here looking out on the Unbroken Green, standing in Phoenix Manor with your mother's sword strapped to your back, do you use the coal? Or do you save it?
Save it for later.
The weight of it in your hand, knowing those you've lost that you could speak to. You hear like the voice of your friends behind you getting ready to head through the door to Port Amat. You take a breath. She can wait. You've got things to do. And that is where we're going to end the session. Thanks everyone for tuning in to Castle Rowan. We'll be back on, I think we're going to be doing a one-shot next week on one day, but we'll be back with this campaign on the 16th. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.